So you've had two very different career paths, but do you see any similarities between your work as a mining engineer and a financial advisor?
It's like any business where you're working with people, and every business has to work with people. So, and every business has its struggles and or challenges, if you like, that they've got to meet. And one of the things we had to do a lot of at the mine when we were running it, particularly with Richard and people like that, was a lot of culture and continuous improvement. And I guess that's one thing that I see key in business. It's pretty unusual to get a big bang thing that makes a big change. It doesn't happen overnight. They take a long time. And generally it's a lot of small things done well, done regularly, done all the time that makes a big difference over time. And so that was one thing that I learnt in working with that group of people. And if you look back on it, and Richard and I talk about this along with other people, if you look back on what we did at the time in that operation, we changed a lot of things over a long period of time. And we improved the operation significantly by just making a lot of small changes along the way. Some might have been reasonable sized changes at the point in time, but there are a lot of small changes and a lot of improvements, and that's what they call Kaizen, I guess. And that's what we do in our business. So I don't think that part's any different. The other bit, I guess, that I did in engineering was, which not everyone can do, is just to be able to see complex things and see a strategy out of them pretty quickly. Doesn't mean to say you got all the answers, but you can see a strategy out of it. And a lot of that I got from working in that sort of environment. The other bit that I see nowadays that I think a lot of people can learn from is, you can't get sidetracked by small things, and particularly costs. I don't see a lot, but we see enough of people who are so focused in engineering, I think, on the cost of something, instead of, well, what's the outcome you're trying to get to, and what's the strategy and goal you're trying to get to. And if you're dealing with the right people, you don't have to worry about all that stuff. That'll look after itself. And they'll generally try to do the right thing by you. And so long as you can see what that outcome is and what you're heading towards and what's the strategy to get there, you don't have to worry about those things. So I guess that's where I see the leaders in the resources industry and the really good professionals that I deal with there, the top-notch ones, that's what they see. They see it pretty clearly, and they're not at all really, really focused on costs. Don't get me wrong, you can't have no focus on them, but it's not something they focus on. It's more about the people, the strategy, and the outcome they're trying to get to, and how do you get there, and what do you do, and who do you work with to get there, and what people do you bring along on the journey with you to do that. So that was one thing, or a couple of things. I guess the other thing I talk about was culture and working with people. It's something there's something we've always tried to do here, and I see great businesses do, is just involve our people and not restrain them. Don't give them restraints. You don't need to give them restraints. Sure, maybe there's some boundaries every now and again you need to set, but most of the time you don't. It's what's the outcome we're trying to get to. If you've got the right people on board, they're going to take you there. And most people want to do the right thing, and most people want to help you, and most people, particularly those who work for you, want to help you get to where you're trying to head towards. And if you share the goal and share the vision, that'll happen. So that's certainly a lot of things that I saw from the industry, and a lot of things that have carried on here.
Yeah, so focusing on the outcome, not all the little steps along the way.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great.